Hello, St. Paul's parents and kiddos. This is Miss Liz here. I'm super excited to be doing a video with you guys today. I'm here to talk to you about something called a motor planning obstacle course. Some of you may have seen some of these popping up online on Facebook and other social media platforms lately. It's basically a big obstacle course that you can do outside with sidewalk chalk just in front of your house. And they're a lot of fun, but it's also something that helps kids with a really important set of skills called motor planning. Motor planning are a set of skills that involves kids learning to problem solve, plan ahead, and then carry out action-related movement. These can be done on a large scale. That means making obstacle courses that help with things like gross motor skills, jumping, climbing, crawling, hopping, skipping, standing on one foot, those kind of things. It can also help with fine motor skills if you do it on a smaller scale. We're going to be talking about both of these today because you can also combine them into one activity. And while this is helpful to kids in order to help with their gross motor skills and fine motor skills, it's something really that's just fun for the whole family to do all together. The obstacle course that I'm going to show you today can be done on a large scale, meaning outside on the sidewalk to work on gross motor skills, but it can also be done on a small scale, just on a long sheet of paper inside the house where the kids use their fingers to create the movement that should be happening. The obstacle course that I'm going to be showing you today also involves things like spelling the children's names, counting, working on their alphabet. All of these are things that you can do to not only keep their mind engaged, but their bodies busy. And studies have shown that kids that are active, moving their bodies while learning things like the alphabet and numbers, memorizing things, that those kids have a much higher retention rate of information than those that are just sitting around while trying to remember this information. The first obstacle that you're going to see here in this course is a hopscotch. In this one, I have written out my name, Miss Liz. So the kids would hop from one box to another while spelling the letters of their name. Next is something called a balance beam. This is a line that you can draw, and it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. It can curve, it can twist, it can zigzag, anything that you want. But the kids basically have to try and walk along the line without stepping off of it and follow it as it goes. Then last on this page is the long jump. Kids would stand on the long line at the end of the balance beam and hop as far as they could to the next line. And then they can count and see how many lines they hopped. And then the next time they get to try again and hop and see if they can make their jump longer than the previous time. The next obstacle that you'll see is a sidestep. This doesn't have to be just a sidestep. They can step from one side to the other, then change directions. They could walk forwards, backwards, anything to change up the movement that they would normally have walking from one place to another. What follows that is something called jump to the rhythm. And what I've done here is written out the notes for Jingle Bells. So this is a song that the kids would be familiar with. They'd know kind of automatically how it would go, that there would be jingle bells and then a break before singing again, jingle bells. So the kids would hop along the music notes and follow along to the rhythm of the song. It doesn't have to be Jingle Bells. Again, you can change it up to some other simple song that the kids know really well. After that, we have something called the bunny hip hop. This is a set of boxes that alternate over a line, and the kids would be hopping from one to the next. You can see in the one that I've drawn here that the boxes have numbers in them, so that the kids can not only hop from one to the next and know which one they're supposed to hop to, but count aloud as they're doing it. Then we have jumping jacks. The kids would stand with one foot on either of the pink shapes and then do jumping jacks, jumping out to the white shapes that are not colored in. You can set a number and tell the kids that they need to do 5 jumping jacks or 4 jumping jacks, and you can change up the number as well to help them with their number recognition. Following that is the star, and it says balance on one foot. So you could have a star for one foot and a moon for another, and then that way they work on standing and balancing on each foot, but on different objects. Then we have a stop sign. This would be a stop and turn. So the kids would stop on the stop sign, turn around to face the other direction, meaning facing back towards the star, and then walk backwards to the next obstacle. On this last page here, we have the lily pad frog leaps. This would be where the child would be squatting down with their hands and feet on the floor and hopping from one lily pad to the next, like a frog. The last obstacle here is the floor is lava. As you can see, I've drawn a big box, and this could be done on a driveway where you have more space as opposed to a sidewalk that's thinner. But I've colored it in to look like lava with the oranges and the reds, and then there's gray areas that would be like the rocks that the kids could actually touch safely. So you can draw different shaped rocks. You can see in mine that there are some that are kind of round, some that are lumpy, then there's ones that look rectangular, ones that curve, and you can draw that however you want, and then the kids can find multiple ways each time they do the course to get from one side of the lava to the other safely without touching it. What you're seeing now in this video is me taking the plan that I have laid out for the big obstacle course outside that you just saw, and now using it on a smaller scale. So the kids would use their fingers, for example, to hop from one thing to another with the hopscotch, sidestepping with 2 fingers as if they're their feet and legs, tapping out rhythms with their fingers. All of these things are things that are going to help with the children's fine motor skills and the way that they move their hands when they do things like using a pencil or scissors. The most important thing when you're doing an activity like this is just to have fun and enjoy it.